I'm not the type to immediately dismiss a remake. Some of my favorite movies are remakes. The Thing, The Fly, House Cleaning MILFs Part 3, there are great remakes out there. So, even though I Spit on Your Grave is a stone-cold grindhouse classic, I was still interested to see what they did with the new version, even though finding this thing uncut in Europe isn't easy. Seriously, these are all of the releases in Germany and the UK. Those little scissor icons mean the release is cut. Notice it's all of them. So I imported my copy from the States. Some of the German versions were missing 13 minutes. I don't want to watch that. And those 13 minutes are missing because, oh brother, this is one violent and disturbing film. We haven't seen a remake this good since Prego Cheerleaders Part 2. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at I Spit on Your Grave from 2010. This film comes to us from director Stephen R. Monroe, who is best known for, well, this movie. But he also directed Pumpkin Pie Wars, and I hear that's a straight banger. He did do the sequel to I Spit on Your Grave, which is actually pretty good. Let me know if you'd like me to talk about that one at some point. I can't promise it's as good as Pumpkin Pie Wars, but it is worth watching. Anyway, let's get into this. We open on our gal Jennifer Hills, played by Sarah Butler, pulling into town and picking up the keys to her cabin. She's a writer and has come to the country for some peace and quiet to work on her book. Since this movie takes place before Google Maps, she gets lost and pops into this service station for directions and gas.
You're gonna be on your left-hand side. You're gonna make a left after a big red mailbox.
Apparently, this movie also takes place before country folks stopped using mailboxes as street signs. The station attendant gets a bit flirty. He shoots his shot, plays his hand.
So you know you're running a little hot. Maybe I should check up under your hood for you.
I guess he'll have to go home, play his hand, and shoot his shot. Jennifer makes it to the cabin and unpacks a weekend's worth of wine. She is a writer, remember? One evening, after spilling some wine on herself, we get a POV shot of her cleaning up. Someone is being pervy with a camera. But nothing comes of it, that we can see, anyway. We soon find out who was behind the camera, this do-rag wearing degenerate right here. He's been spying and showing his tape to his friends. That night, they invade her house, and the abuse starts. A lot of the verbal abuse is related to her big city origins.
What's the matter? You too good to have a drink with us?
Yeah, clearly she is. She didn't break into someone's house, and I'm sure she knows what a sommelier is. But Jennifer manages to escape, and she runs across a sheriff. Movie's over, everything will be just fine now. Or maybe it won't. When the sheriff gets to her place, he immediately starts poking around and asking cop-type questions. Did you know them? Were you drinking?
Ma'am, is this your marijuana cigarette?
And then he, makes sure she isn't hiding any big city candles in her prison pocket. The sheriff character is new to the remake, and a big part of what makes this movie's existence justifiable. This remake adds something, and what it adds does improve upon the original in a significant way. I'll talk more about this aspect of the film later. For now, the other good old boys show up, and things have just gotten way worse. They all decide it's time for their mentally disabled friend Matthew to lose his V-card. Some people complain that the inclusion of a mentally disabled character makes the film far more exploitative than it really even needed to be, but I always like that character, who also existed in the original, by the way. The inclusion of this character shows that what these men do is so heinous that even a mentally disabled person should have known better. But from here on out, there's not going to be much you can see here on YouTube.
Man, I just work here.
But of course, we don't have to stay here. Support the channel on Patreon and get access to uncensored, spicy versions of my reviews. Link is in the description. All of these good old boys do terrible things. The sequence is narratively from Jennifer's point of view, and she passes out, so we are thankfully saved from watching all of it. She regains consciousness as the group is comparing notes on their respective performances. The sheriff is about to shoot her, but she falls into the river and disappears. This is a revenge film, so she's not dead, of course. She'll be back. Oh, brother, will she ever be back? But that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. The thing I like most about this remake is that sheriff character. An important aspect of many revenge films is that the revenge is necessary, or at least justifiable, because society has failed and will continue to fail to protect the vulnerable. So the vulnerable are given a choice: get justice for themselves or be victims forever. At their core, revenge stories are a critique of societies that fail to protect its citizens. Anyway, one question you might ask when watching the original version is, why didn't she just go to the police? Well, this version fixes that story problem. Also, the murder set pieces in this are, if that's your thing, you're in for a treat. The scenes here are sadistic and visceral. One thing I really liked about them was that they thematically matched what the guys did to her. The voyeur gets some eye torture, the choker gets choked, and I don't want to spoil much, but I will say that my favorite one involves a bathtub for the guy who held her head in a puddle. Jennifer fills a tub with water and lye, and the guy has to try hard to hold himself out of it. He tries his best. Oh, as another quick aside, I also liked how capturing the men was realistic. And this woman is tiny, and the dudes are big, but we thankfully don't get any of that stupid Hollywood stuff where somehow a 100-pound woman can go toe-to-toe with a 200-pound man. No, she uses her smarts, traps, and a baseball bat. That'll work. The movie also does a good job leaning into the Hicksploitation elements, arguably even better than the original due to the inclusion of the small-town sheriff. But in addition to him, there's a lot of disturbing talk about how these rural folk don't consider city folk to be worthy of respect, which adds to the effectiveness of the film. And even though I do live in a big city, I have lived in rural areas, but I never understood these rural views on masculinity. You know, I live next door to a cow. I'm a real man. You live in a big city with gangs, dope fiends, and murderers. You're soft. Make that make sense. But even though I like this movie a lot, it's not perfect. Like a gas station attendant playing his hand, this film has some shortcomings. Well, at 108 minutes, this movie might be a touch long. Maybe. I've seen it now 3 or 4 times, and I wouldn't say I ever get bored, but there were sequences I thought could have moved a bit quicker. And actually, I would have liked more time spent on the torture stuff at the end, so maybe the runtime is okay, it's just not split up in the way I find ideal. But that's just me. My only real complaint is the color grading. Like way too many modern films, the colors in this are too flat. It almost looks like log footage. Not to get too technical, but log footage is when films are shot digitally. They are often shot with low contrast and low saturation. This is me in log footage, although I'm in a kind of high contrast environment, so maybe this example isn't so great. Shooting this way helps to maximize the usable data you get off your sensor, but you're supposed to later add contrast and saturation to make the colors pop in the way you want. The problem is, I think, that too many modern filmmakers spend so much time looking at log footage, they start to think that's how it's supposed to look. It's not. Just to compare, take a look at this shot from the original, and here's the same scene from the remake. Where are the colors? Here's an even more dramatic example. This is the OG Jennifer walking away after, well, you know. And here is the same scene from the remake. This image is so desaturated, it almost looks black and white. Not a fan. But beyond that, this is a gritty and effectively disturbing film that improves upon the original in significant ways, and therefore justifies its existence as a remake. I do recommend it.